everybody. Linda Carroll here from my studio, Gather of Great Things. And I've been working on my mermaid collage, and I hope you can see a lot of difference in what it looked like the last time we were together. I've been adding a lot of embellishment throughout the mermaid body. Right now I'm working on the scales on her body down here, and I started out with a purple, and I'm using an orange, and it's almost gives it a shimmery effect. Same down here with the green and then the orange, and I really like the way her top turned out. I've been working a lot in her hair. I've started to put the detail work in of the white dots. I still have to work down in this area, and finished her crown. My little self down here I'm colorized using color pencils, and did the turtle using the Posca markers, paint pens, and I'm working on the fish as well, so I'm kind of jumping around throughout the collage. I decided I didn't like all the white around the bubbles coming off of her tail, so I've gone in with a Posca pen and colored in a lot with the with blue, and I'm making little splashes off on the border. It's kind of, it gives it kind of a surreal effect when you have the objects that are supposed to be within the frame, like the fish, actually coming outside of the frame, like sorry, that was my brother telling me that he was not coming over today because he's been working in the yard. It's a kind of a chilly day here by the beach, only going to be around 49, so he's taking advantage of the cool weather. But I'll see him tomorrow for lunch, so that's a good thing. Anyway, let me get back to talking about things that I have completed. I was talking about how surreal it is when parts of the image that I'm working on actually overlap the border. And so you have this kind of inside, the characters inside seem to start coming forward when you overlap the border, like her crown and now these water splashes. I still have some work to do with some white dots up in that area. So right now I'm doing the scales on her tail and putting in orange dots to embellish and define the area even more. And I will speed up this part of the video, so I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. Okay, I finished the pattern on her body, on her fish scale body, and I also went down and worked some on the fish. And as I was working on the fish, I thought, what if this entire scene is from the imagination of this fish down here in the corner as an onlooker, and he or she, I think probably she, is imagining herself as a mermaid. And so I tried to duplicate some of the coloring in the body of the fish and the body of the mermaid, the color of the eyes, the color of the lips. And I kind of like that little part of the story. I also finished this area up here, or almost finished. I'm adding some white dots here in the area that I painted just to add a little bit more embellishment and also a little bit more movement to the piece. Makes it look like she's actually diving down into the water, and the bubbles are trailing behind her. So not putting anything in this area yet because I might put some text in there. I'm not sure. I think I probably need a little touch of white in a few of these areas here. It just tends to bring that area, make it a little bit brighter. Not all of them, but just some of them. Probably the ones that are in the forefront. Give a little bit more dimension to the form as well. Doesn't have to be exact by any means. Okay. And I think I did the same thing down here in my fish. Just added a little bit of white. And I'm going to go up here and work some more in her hair, following the movement of the strokes that I made with the different colors. I used green and orange and pink and white and black, and really like the way it turned out. Not much going on at the beach today. Yesterday was the windiest day I think I've seen here in a while. But today's quiet. Chilly though, it's cold. It's only going to be in the 40s today. So it's a good day for me to stay inside in the studio and finish up my mermaid. Okay, I think I need some up here. Just putting a little bit of pressure on the Posca pen. I've been trying to think what I don't really want to write in this like a journal. I already did that in my daily journal when we were traveling. I'll show that to you too. But I would like to put a quote in here. And I've been trying to think of something I'm familiar with. I know I really like the song Home by the Sea. So I think I'm going to look up the lyrics for that and see if there is something I'd like to include in this piece from that. I also have a quote by Nathaniel Hawthorne, I believe, about looking out at the sea. So as I look at this, I'm thinking that my embellishments are just about finished. I think when I add the text or the quote around the mermaid, and then I'll go in and do my finishing touches. I think I might need some touches of white down here. And then there's something that I do on most of the pieces that I work on. Let me see if I did it on these. No, I did not. But I go around the outside edges with a Sharpie pen, but I don't have a lot of control on the pen because I hold it like this from the end. And so it's just kind of a very rough outline that I add to the piece, almost a scribbly line. But I feel like it finishes the piece. And usually I'll go around and do 2 of these lines, and I'll show you. What happens. This is a good place to go back and retrace. It gives me spaces to go back in and put another accent color. And again, it makes the figures pop kind of off of the page. And that's usually the last thing that I do. But I like the looseness and freedom of this line. And now I'm going to go around the other side. I did go in and put some fingernail polish on her fingernails. Not really polished, but I use the Posca pens. Okay, let's go down around little Linda Carroll. And we'll go back. This tends to add a little bit more motion to the piece as well. Okay, and I think I'll do the border too. Sometimes if my color pencil is really heavily drawn on here, this marker, the Sharpie marker doesn't work really well. But clean it off a little bit and see what happens. Yeah, I've gotten gunked up a little bit. This also kind of defines areas for my quotes and text that I add. And it makes the piece, it just makes the piece look more finished, I think. Some people add kind of splashes of white or black in their pieces. I kind of like my squiggly lines. Okay. And I won't do a lot of this, but I'll choose a color. Let's see. I don't have a lot of red in here. Let's see what this looks like if I go in with a little bit of red and just kind of fill in. I don't do all of them, but kind of fill in the spaces between where the two squiggly lines meet. Kind of picking up the red in the map and over here in this area. So I won't do all that while we're here. But I do think what I'll do is I'll take a little break and have some lunch and finish doing this and decide on what quote I want to use in the in this particular collage. And when I come back, I think we'll be able to finish it up with the quote and end this project. So I'll be back in a little bit. Hi, I'm back, and I did find the Nathaniel Hawthorne quote that I really like, but then I remembered one from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow that I like even more, and so I printed it out. I also printed out the words to Home by the Sea by Genesis, but I think I'll save that for another collage. But the two verses that I'm going to use on my collage are, "Ah, what pleasant visions haunt me as I gaze upon the sea. All the old romantic legends, all my dreams come back to me, till my soul is full of longing for the secret of the sea, and the heart of the great ocean sends a thrilling pulse through me." I can't imagine being able to write words like that. They're just beautiful. So I have laid out my words roughly. I don't think you can see them, but I use a mechanical pencil and very lightly lay out the quote on the background. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and do the lettering. I'm going to be using a Sharpie permanent marker, and I have to concentrate when I do this, so I'm probably going to be fairly quiet, but let's see what happens here. Well, it would be nice if I had a pen that wrote. Here we go. I go in with my eraser, my little white eraser, and not all of the lines in the background bother me, the pencil lines, but I kind of go over it very lightly and pick up the pencil lines that really stand out. And it's okay with the chalk underneath, because if any of that picks up, it just makes it a little bit lighter underneath and will make the lettering stand out a little bit more. So sometimes I don't do this part at all. Sometimes especially if I kind of stick to my layout, I don't have to go back over and erase any of the basic layout lines, but it does make a cleaner piece. And don't press down very hard when you do this. Do it very lightly. It's enough to lift the pencil, but not too much of the pan pastels underneath. Okay, and then the last thing I do, if I can find my pencil that I used around the edges, which I think is right here. Let's sharpen this a little bit. Okay, I go in and I add a little bit of a shadow to my letters. Usually I work on the left side, and what this does is it kind of lifts them up off the page a little bit. so you can kind of see what's happening. So I'm going to take a little break and finish this, and then I'll be back to finish up the collage. Hi there, I'm back. I finished the shading around all of the lettering and my quote. I added Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's name at the bottom, and I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. As you can see, the lettering kind of flows through, follows the movement of the page. And as I read through the quote, I was really kind of pleased that this little ending of the quote and the word me ended up right beside me as a little girl. And also I've added a date stamp. I usually add a date stamp to the work. I just use one of the date stamps from Smashbook, and I never did Smashbooks, but I bought a number of them from my granddaughters. And as I printed the date, I was thinking about my dad. Today is his birthday, and he loved the sea. He loved traveling upon the sea. When he was 17, he joined the Merchant Marines during World War II. He fibbed about his age. He was only 17, but he came from a really large Italian-American family. There were 17 children. I'm not sure how many of them existed at that particular time, but they needed the money, so he joined the service, and he traveled the world on a ship, and he absolutely loved the time that he spent at sea. I often think that if he hadn't had children at a young age, he probably would have gone back to the sea. But I miss you, Dad, and happy birthday. And I hope you all enjoyed this journey with me. And we'll come back. I'm intending to do a lot more process videos of my collages and also my bookmaking. And I wanted to see, I think I'm going to turn this into a paper clip and clip this on the side of the page. And I might put additional memorandum pieces from my cruise there. So I think I'll show you how to make these next. They're a lot of fun. I use them in my journals and in my books. So until next time, many blessings. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye now.